This is my little sparkle midge. Size 18, 2mm white. Just going to place the bead, small hole first on the hook. I'm just going to reverse that around, put it in the vise. Semperfli Nano Silk Black 100D. Just going to go ahead and get our thread started here. Just put a little bit on there and leave the neck nice and thin. We'll deal with that, locking that in place later on. This is a fine silver colored wire. You could get that in pretty much any brand. It's just the really small stuff. I'm going to get that wire kind of tucked in there. Bring my thread up a little bit. Put a couple of wraps on there. And just pull it till it's about flush to go into that head right there. I need to tighten my clamp up just a little bit more. And then from there, we'll just kind of lock it down in. Oh, messed that one up a little bit. We'll just tuck it back into that head. Get some wraps going on it. And now we got a hold of it again. Good. We'll just bring it all the way down along that back. And kind of oval wrap it at the bottom, making sure it stays nice and thin down in that area. I'm going to bring my thread back up and put a few more wraps up here around that head. I need to make a quick adjustment to this little thread here. There we go. Now I can pull on that. We'll add a few more turns to come back down. A few more turns to come back up. And just try to taper that body a little bit, keeping it nice and thin. And now we're going to use our hackle pliers. And we're going to use that to wrap in just a sec if we can't hold on to that. So we'll get a hold of it there. And we're going to pull it down and around and just kind of look at the spirals as it works its way up. So one thing that's kind of nice about a rotary vise, you can kind of see what's going on with the wraps as they travel through, make them look kind of nice and even all the way up and around. A little bit more space there. It's kind of what you see is what you get in this area. So once we get it up to here, I'm not so worried about those last few wraps, but we'll use that to kind of weight the head and also to lock that wire in. My good scissors got bent, so we're using the really dull ones here. And we're going to tuck that wire down and give it a few wraps here. Just kind of pull tight and get that all tucked up down by the head a little bit. Now, one thing I'm noticing that got pulled forward just a little bit. You're getting the video with all the bloopers here. I apologize for that. We'll just kind of build that up a little, and we're going to use the final part for the thorax. So I like to use this Semperfli hollow tinsel, and it's black sparkles. And this is what gives it all the little sparkle that you can see on them. You don't need much of it, just a spool. One spool diameter is all. It's generally enough to make it work. Okay, so I got my little piece here. I'm just going to wrap around one time, pull it back and hold that down there. And then we're going to wrap this around. And this is how we're going to get all of our flash in there. We'll just keep bringing it up and around. Whoop. The head right here. We'll cover any of those wire mistakes. They're just going to add some thickness to that thorax. It's going to add some real shine to this fly right in this area and kind of thicken it up a little bit. You can can see it's starting to kind of finish off the fly. Might twist a little on you, and that's good to have some crinkle here and there. Then I like to bring it up to that edge once around the front. Then we definitely got to get it right there and catch the back side of it just like that. Then you should be able to pull it and feel it snap down in between the threads, and it'll pull that plastic down in there. Now it's really tucked in there well. Then we're going to just take and cut this off, and it can be a little bit messy. In fact, I found the fish like it a little bit better if there's some chunkage left on there. You can always trim it off later. And then all we need to do is throw a little whip finish on there and call it good. Usually about just a little 2-turn whip finish. That'll tuck it down in that head, and if it pulls down in there good and you can maintain the thickness, then you can get an extra 1 or 2 on there as well. Just like that. And then from that point, we'll give it a little, just give it a little cut there. And you've got the option to leave that fuzzy, or you can cut it down in. It's kind of your decision. You can always clip it off later. But that's a nice little sparkle pupa. And this thing has been performing well for me all winter. Just hanging it down under a bobber. Thanks for watching.